team, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah, they might not even be a playoff team. Still, with only 27 starts, almost able to log 200 innings. He had 198.
Yeah, he went through games. He did not, 6 and done. He was 8, 9, complete games. And he was on fire. He was unbelievable. His curve, speechless.
And with that, we're going to move on to the last award, the AL MVP. The finalists are Michael Brantley, who really had a breakout season for the Indians. Victor Martinez for the Tigers, another person who had kind of a breakout season. And then, of course, the ever-there Mike Trout. Matt, who are you going to go with?
Now, at the end of the regular season, I probably would have said Mike Trout. But I think that average it's a little iffy for me, under 300, a little questionable. I actually might go with Victor Martinez on this one. I liked Victor Martinez, was always he was great from the start and never stopped. I thought he would stop at one point and just cool down, but he never did. The old man did pretty well this year, and I like this. I like his stats. He had a good year, 335, 32 home runs, 103 RBIs, a solid year, great year, especially for a man who's, if I get the exact date, 35 years old, who's played in the league for a very long time, and his team made the playoffs too. So I'm gonna go with Victor Martinez. Victor Martinez. Yep.
I'm going to agree with you. And who would have thought if you said before the season that an MVP candidate from the Tigers
I really I want Trout to win it. I really do. But I just don't think that average is good enough. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree with me with that, or if that's your reason why you wouldn't say Mike Trout. I mean, his fielding's fantastic, and his speed is amazing, but I just don't think the average is good enough.
And I'm going to agree with you. I think Victor Martinez, 335 batting average, that's great. He led the league in OBP with a 409.
And Trout, I did not know this, but I'm just looking now. Trout led the league in strikeouts.
Did he really? How many did he have?
184.
And you compare that to the amount of strikeouts that Victor Martinez had, only 42. That's a lot.
And this was weird. It's kind of funny actually. But Trout also led the league in total bases. And Trout did not have a lot of steals either. Only 16.
Yeah, for him that's a low number. And
from 49 to 33 to 16. It seems like he's almost like he's getting worse every year, but he's still doing pretty good. And it's just weird. It's just, I just don't think the average is good enough. I honestly think Trout, now he's got his money. I think he's just trying to get more power. It looks obvious in the stats. If you just look at the stats, he had 30 home runs his first year, 27 last year, and then now 36 this year, and a lot more RBIs than he had his first 2 years. Stolen bases are down, and he's striking out a lot more, especially last year. And last year, Trout led the league in walks, so it's kind of funny. Now leading the league in strikeouts. Those stats are definitely going to hurt him, and I think he carried the Angels, but Pujols had a great year too this year, and I mean the Angels all around were a good team. And Victor Martinez probably carried that team for more than we thought, especially when they were struggling with David Price, and everything that was going on there. So Victor Martinez, both me and CB present you the AL MVP trophy. So now we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Coming up after the break. We do so our Garden State Sharks without Nick Bugatis. Just remember that. Garden State Sharks go over our football picks, go over our picks recap, then go over our picks this week. And then pick our college football teams. And then later in the show, Hometown Roundup. And your favorite segment of the week, Snowball Effect. Brawl of the Week, Who's Hot, Who's Not. Bang Bang, Who's Hot, Who's Not. Sorry about that, CB. So yeah, all that coming up in the show. You're listening to Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Me and CB will be right back after the break.
Be sure to tune in to Blake and Noah, LA to Chicago weekly on Sunday nights as we cover the biggest news in sports. Topics range from breaking news, trade rumors, score updates, predictions, and of course, our famous Say What segment of the week. Get on Facebook and like the Blake and Noah, LA to Chicago page. Also, feel free to text or call in each week.
All right. We are back here in Jersey Boys Sports Talk. As you probably know by now, Nick is not here, so it's just me and CB. So we are continuing now with the Garden State Sharks. It's actually Garden State Sharks is becoming, when the NFL season, regular season ends, I'm really gonna miss it because I actually enjoy Garden State Sharks a lot.
Well, I was doing well in the beginning, and then
You're struggling, man. I'm starting to make a comeback.
Now I'm having to make picks against sometimes what I even believe in, just because I need to gain some gains on you guys.
Yep.
So I'm starting to really fall behind. I believe I'm well been last. If you look at the numbers,
we'll look over the standings after we do our recap of every game last week.
Okay, fair enough.
So last week Cardinals, Cowboys, we all picked the Cardinals. Cardinals covered in 128-17. So CB, you did get a win there. Redskins, Vikings were even lines. So you just picked who you thought was going to win. I picked the Vikings. So did Nick. You didn't. So me and Nick got the win there. The Vikings still win 29-26. Raiders, Seahawks, we all picked the Raiders. We didn't think the Seahawks were going to cover. So the Raiders did cover because the Seahawks only won 30-24. Broncos, Patriots, I had the Broncos. Nick had the Broncos. You had the Pats. Pats easily won 43-21. Ravens, Steelers. I had Steelers. Nick had Steelers. You had Ravens. Steelers killed. Big Ben, 6 touchdowns, 43-23. Big Ben on fire, by the way. We really haven't talked about that, but he is on fire. So season standings, CB, you're in dead last. You're 18-25 this year. I'm in second. I'm 22-21. So you're 4 games behind me. And Nick is in first easily. I'm 4 games behind him. He's 26-17. So this week, we really got to beat Nick. I mean, we got to pummel him. So I'm going with Nick on the first game, though. Chiefs, Bills. Chiefs are projected to win by 2. Here, I'm going with Bills. Nick's going with Bills. What are you going with, CB?
I'm picking the Chiefs. I like the way they've been playing lately. They're starting to pass the ball more. Jamal Charles also has been playing really, really well of late. I just think this Chiefs team is a lot better than people think. And I don't know if the Bills are really as good as we all think they are. I'm picking the Chiefs.
All right. Dolphins +3 at Detroit. I'm going with the Lions solely because they're home. And CB, you're picking the Dolphins here. Are you just trying to go against me and Nick in this pick?
No, I like what the Dolphins defense has been doing. They just shut out the Chargers, who have been one of the best offenses in the NFL. I really think their defense has been really good of late. I think this team is going to win this game pretty convincingly, actually, because the Lions are a very up and down team. And they do get Calvin Johnson back, but I think the Dolphins defense is elite.
All right, Rams +7.5 against the Cardinals. We're all going Cards on this one. I think the Cards are red hot. Carson Palmer just got an extension, 3 years, $50 million. They're on fire. It's in Arizona. The Rams they're not a terrible team. It's not as bad as the record shows or says they are. But I think the Cardinals are going to win by about 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, I really wanted to go with the Rams here because they've been playing well of late, but I couldn't do it. The Cardinals are by far the best team in the NFL to this point, so I had to take the Cardinals as well.
All right, Giants +8.5 at Seattle, and for the first time in Garden State Sharks, I'm going against the Giants, and we're all going against the Giants in this one. Seahawks think they're going to cover it. It's in Seattle. The Giants haven't looked that great over the last few weeks. Offense really isn't clicking. They have no corners. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for my G-men. We'll have to wait and see. And finally, Panthers +6 at Philly. I'm going Panthers. You're going Panthers. Nick's going Eagles. I just hate the Eagles so much. I want the Panthers to win. Eagles are probably going to win, even with Sanchez, but I want the Panthers to win.
Even though you said that the Eagles were probably going to win this game earlier in the show, you said it here as well. You're still going with the Panthers, but I actually think the Panthers have a good chance here. You give them 6 points, and Mark Sanchez always likes to make it interesting. Every game he wins is always by a slim margin. I think the Panthers really, really need a big game here, and I think this is their chance to do it. against the Eagles. I think the thing I was talking about earlier, how the backup quarterback always struggles in that first start as teams get a read on them, and they can think about it a little more. I'm going to go Panthers as well.
All right. So now to our college football playoff rankings. I didn't do one last week because I wasn't on the show, but you and Nick did one. So, CB, are you keeping the same picks or are you going to change things around?
I'm obviously going to change things around with Auburn's loss tonight. I'm going to go Mississippi State's going to stay at 1, Florida State at 2. I'm going to jump Oregon from 4 to 3 and bring Alabama into the rankings. I'm the only one that has Oregon ahead of Bama, as Nick doesn't have them in his rankings, as he still has Auburn in there because his rankings were from earlier today.
Or Nick's just stupid. He could just be stupid.
I will give him benefit of the doubt on this one.
I don't know about that. I mean, we know Nick. We've known Nick for a while now.
He's done some stupid stuff, but I think this time we're going to let it slide.
Okay, all right, fine.
Mississippi State 1, Florida State 2, Auburn 3, Bama 4. And then we have Matt, who has his rankings for you.
Mississippi State, I got the Bulldogs, baby, at 1. FSU at 2. Bama 3, Oregon 4, which is pretty classic. I think a lot of people have that. I think it's pretty fair. If Oregon loses to Utah, yes, I'll change things. But as of right now, that's my ranking. Mississippi State, FSU, Bama, Oregon. All right. So now we're moving on to the hometown roundup. Rutgers did not play today because of a bye. I'll do NFL right now. Giants 3-5, lost to the Colts on Monday night, 40-24. Really, things were not. What? Sorry, I thought I heard something. My bad. Technical difficulties. So the Colts. So Eli and the Giants. There was no running game. Prince Mukamara was out, got hurt, out for the year. DRC was injured, but he's all right, I think. I mean, Giants really don't have many corners now. Slowly losing those corners. Play at Seattle this week, so it's gonna just get harder. At 4:25 tomorrow. Jets 1-8. They've had even a worse season than the Giants. Lost to Kansas City 24-10. Really have not done well. Playing the Red Hot Steelers. Big Ben 12 touchdowns in the last 2 games. 6 touchdowns in both games. They play at 1. I expect a loss for the Jets there.
All right, we're going to move on to hockey. The Devils are 6-6-2 on the season. On Saturday, they won 3-2 versus Columbus. But Tuesday, they lost 1-0 to St. Louis and lost to them again 4-3 on Friday. On Thursday. And then on Friday, they lost 4-3 at Detroit. And this week, they'll go Monday at Boston, Tuesday versus Minnesota, Friday at Washington, and Saturday versus Columbus. The Rangers, last Saturday, they lost in a shootout to Winnipeg. Monday, they lost 4-3 in a shootout versus St. Louis, who's really killing these area teams this week. Wednesday, they had a 4-3 win over Detroit in overtime. Right now, they're playing Toronto. And the score update for you. Gotta refresh it. Sorry about that. They're right now tied 3-3 in the second period with the Maple Leafs. Matt Zuccarello has a goal, as well as Phil Kessel for Toronto, and the rest of the goal scorers for the Rangers are Carl Hagelin and Chris Kreider. So those are your 3 goal scorers for the Rangers. They also have games this next week on Sunday, tomorrow, versus Edmonton. On Tuesday, they're facing Pittsburgh. Thursday, they're facing Colorado. And then Saturday, they'll be at Pittsburgh. So hopefully they win both those games to get Nick Bagadas angry next week. Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yep.
And then the Islanders, they are 6-4-2. The Rangers were 6-4-2. I'd say their record. The Islanders are 8-5. They just Saturday they lost San Jose, then won Wednesday at Anaheim. 3-2, and then Thursday they had a 2-1 shootout win at LA. And right now they're scoreless 0-0 at the end of the first period. On Tuesday they'll play Colorado. Friday they'll play Florida, and Saturday they'll play Tampa Bay.
All right. Moving on to basketball. We'll start with the Knicks. Knicks, after beating Cleveland